Hi guys, there's something that I had been wanting to share. Uh, so I've been trying to improve myself all roundedly over the last couple years because I feel like this is the prime of my life, and if I talk about my ambition, my sense of ambition, my career, or even my physical strength, my mental capacity, it's all at peak, and I want to do justice to all that capacities. And I have been trying to push myself into self improvement, and I have taken up some mentorships and going through some self help books, trying to take notes and observing myself, writing essays, and spotting my sort of strengths and weaknesses, like in a genuine way, like not in a resume sort of way, in a genuine way where I can fully understand that doing justice to myself, what I feel I'm capable of, what I feel I can improve on. And I won't use the word struggle, I had been just constantly trying to somehow improve. And of course, I got to learn a lot of good stuff there. Like, one of the very unique and one of the best things that I learned during that time was to talk positively to myself. Like, whenever I talk to myself with regards to doing something challenging, I have to be really supportive. Like, in my head, I have to be my own well wisher, like my best friend, and who'd fully support myself. And it actually worked for me on certain times. I have actually tried it and tested it, like taking up some, you know, new task or new challenges, and then just to mentally give myself a note that yes, you can do it. And that brought a lot of change with respect to how I was doing some things earlier. Like, I would be shit scared before getting into something, and in my mind I would always be thinking like, oh, this is not possible, I won't be able to do it, I won't be able to do it. And that's the thing which went on repeat, like without any control. And it's, of course, it's been very recent for me that I understood that you have to switch, and it's sort of a mental decision. Like, I have to decide it mentally that yeah, I have to do it, and then support myself by saying that you'll be able to do it. And it was such a different thing altogether to feel, to talk to myself as, in an active and a passive voice and a third person altogether. Some people might find it very silly, but that was the only thing which I felt worked out of all those self help learnings and self improvement kind of work. But yeah, at a point I did make a halt. I did stop going further in that journey because I felt that it's something which is never ending, and I'll have to do it consciously. And of course, I can make a big task out of it right now, but that's not how I can afford to go on about it for larger part of my life. And this way to approach self improvement was kind of unsustainable, and I just came to this conclusion that I'll just drop it and take things slow and one day at a time, and not like recording my growth every day or every week. I'm not saying against it. Of course, a lot of people do it. A lot of them, they get helped by that practice, and they grow by that practice. Yeah, so that was my endeavor to find myself growing in a way. And then I just came to this conclusion that I have all the theoretical apparatus, but I don't have those opportunities where I can practically apply it. Yeah, there are some opportunities where I can in my daily life, but not those that I'm actively seeking or trying to build. So that's why I decided to put a halt to it. And also, I felt that it's just too much of an accumulation, like too much of knowledge, and the best way to grow is just grow from my own experiences. And yeah, it helps to be able to learn from someone else's experience, but how similar are those experiences, given that each of us are so unique and so different from each other, even though we have so many things similar to us, but there are differences, and those differences make us unique to each other, and our experiences diverse, even though we are in the same place, in the same environment, but a lot of things can be perceived differently just based off of how unique a person you are. And I just felt that I need to just learn from my life, from my experiences. It's good to know, of course. It's great to have that sort of handy knowledge on what's going on and how some situation can be tackled in a better way, and how I can communicate better, or how I can be more polite, how I can be more helpful, or how I can be better at my tasks, better at managing my time. But yeah, I have to live life every day and bit by bit, and having knowledge is good, but unless that knowledge is being used, it just makes it just takes that space, and it seems to be redundant most of the times. And somehow I felt that I need to kind of let go of things that I know and that are not usable, or which does not have any utility for me, given the person I am, or the values that I hold as a unique individual. And yeah, in simpler terms, a lot of people can say that, yeah, it's nothing new, and we need to keep on unlearning. As and more we learn something, we need to shed off things which are not serving us anymore. But more than that, I wanted to convey what I felt very important. If I were to keep on acquiring new knowledge, there has to be space for things which don't serve, as well as there's a lot of conditioning of ours, the way we have been mentally and psychologically conditioned. It's not necessarily shedding off the redundant knowledge and making space for new knowledge, but it's shedding off some conditionings and the way maybe we behave, or those sort of things where we are kind of more, we find ourselves very conscious being in a social space, and which don't really matter anymore, like things like how not to be awkward, or not how to make others awkward, or how to uh, behave a certain way. And all of those are just ways to fulfill someone else's expectations of how you present yourself. And I mean, why can't we shed that off and make space for new knowledge which can actually help us, and help us as a personality of our own, rather than always striving towards meeting someone else's expectations. And somehow I associated that with my growth, my self improvement. Yeah, I would say I have actively stopped meeting people's expectations because I feel that I am not obligated to please someone else at the cost of my own values or things which seem more important to me. And it's not been easy. I have to put up, if not a fight, at least an argument every time. And it's kind of crazy that I have to even explain that why I don't want to be doing that over that. It's just my wish, and still it's so difficult to explain and get through some people's heads. But yeah, I see that as a form of growth. Saying no to things that we don't like doing, we don't want to be doing, presenting ourselves in a way that is always pleasant to someone else. And these things, we think that these are just formalities or basic etiquettes, but I feel that all of it eats so much of our headspaces, and it even becomes headlines of gossips and stuff, like useless stuff, things that really matter. People don't want to talk about it. People rather want to talk about how you were dressed, or how uh, you talked, or things that really don't matter that much. And yeah, I started looking at self improvement from a different lens. I started looking at it not being someone else, like not training myself to be someone else. Like an improved version of me can just be an authentic version of me. Like I can just be my own self, and without any apologies, without any regrets. And after, like, it's hilarious that after so much of work, and after going through all those activities of self growth, self improvement, and then I had to come to this learning that I just want to be authentic, and I just uh, want to voice whatever comes in my head, of course, not being ignorant of the time and place, but very much present myself in the most authentic way possible. And that's a form of self growth which actively seek, and why we are pushed to be anyone else except what we are. So